These pictures have spread all over the world. Dog goes to the vet clinic and stretches out its paw. Do you see that animals can read situations as well as humans? And even ask for help if there is a problem? Or do you think humans interpret random animal behavior in their own way, assigning intelligence to them? This story takes place in the Brazilian town of Huasi Road, RT reported. There are usually a lot of animals at the reception of one of the local veterinary clinics. They lined up with the owner for an appointment, but letting the animals go to the veterinary clinic on their own, which had not happened before on one of the normal working days, the vet noticed a dog and went into his clinic. Private. When one of the employees approached, the dog stuck out its paw, indicating that something was wrong. How the dog learned of this particular building that this is where he could get help will probably remain a mystery forever. The compassionate doctors decided to help the dog and let him stay in the clinic. It was Paul who was deceived. Does it has ingrown toenails? In addition, the animal has a lot of parasites on the skin. The doctors not only treated the foot and removed the parasites, but also gave the animal a complete examination. Examination revealed that the animal had a malignant tumor in the genital area. The vets couldn't let the stray dogs go, knowing they would die on the street. The dog had surgery to remove the cancerous growth. The animal also underwent the first round of chemotherapy and the treatment worked well. Da Silva, an employee of the veterinary clinic, said the dog appeared to be more active and healthy. But the dog will have to continue treatment, so the clinic is actively looking for family members to pick up the dog and take care of him, and temporarily let him stay in the clinic. The animal mentioned in our next story has also come to everyone's help. The puppy, Woon, and his mother tried to attract the attention of passers-by as best they could. She can't help her puppy on her own, so people are her last hope. So, when the man cautiously picked up her puppy, the dog didn't intervene and even let the man take the puppy to the hospital. The dog can't go with them because she has 4 other puppies on the street with her. Fortunately, the puppy was rescued. It took several days of treatment, but when the wound healed, he was returned to his mother. Just watch this warm family reunion and also notice how they treat the person who helped them. We can only hope that everyone will always be kind and nice to them in the future, and that eventually each of them will find their own loving family. A similar situation with a dog visiting a veterinary clinic in Brazil happened in the city of Kiev, Ukraine. The injured dog was taken to the emergency room. They examined the dog there, but it was still sent to a veterinary clinic for treatment. The dog entered through the side entrance. He could barely move. He entered and fell right in the lobby. He needs help. He is asking for help, says neuroscientist Alla Laskuk. According to Alla, the animal did not hesitate to be examined by the doctors, and if the dog was injured only by the wind without biting, the doctors decided it was a domestic dog that was hit by a car or hit. Doctors called volunteers and took the patient on all fours to the veterinary clinic. Veterinarians treated the wound, gave the dog antibiotics, and performed other necessary procedures. Rescuers posted a photo of the dog online. Eliza and Alexander, a couple who have been taking care of the dog for 5 years, see him. The animal's name is Noida and it lives on the street with other dogs and in one of the neighborhoods in the Bush-Evica area. It disappeared on New Year's Eve. She is still very smart, careful, and cute. Elisa Kozakova said, "I think a bad guy just took her to another neighborhood." The dog was returned to their neighbors, but the couple feared someone might do something like this again. They are looking for an owner for the animal. And when people saved this stray animal, disaster struck, an old house collapsed. People haven't lived there for a long time, but a family of stray dogs have made it their home. After the house collapsed, the dog did not appear to be injured, but the little girl panicked and ran to people for help. Passers-by realized something must have happened to her pet dogs. Dog mother leads everyone to the place where she believes her puppies have been trapped under the rubble. Only people could move large rocks, but then she actively helped them dig up her puppies. The amazing thing is that even though the puppies are very young and blind, they are still unharmed. Another story with a happy ending tells of a kitten trapped in a metal pipe. There is a common misconception that if a cat's head goes through a hole, it will be able to get through the hole. However, this is not always the case. The kitten tries to get through a rusty pipe but gets stuck and has to ask people for help because only they can get it out. Fortunately, a girl found the animal and managed to free it even without the help of a veterinarian. The hairy creature remained unharmed. When pets ask people for help, it makes a lot of sense because they live next to humans. But when a wild animal asks humans for help, it's truly shocking. After all, how does a sea turtle that has lived in the ocean for decades know who the people are and how they can help? This incredible incident happened to a diver during one of his dives, which started quite often. The man was swimming at great depth, observing the inhabitants of the water. Now imagine his surprise when a sea turtle, which under normal conditions should be feared. People volunteered to swim to him. Overcoming the initial shock, the diver noticed that a large slender piece had been firmly attached to the turtle's shell. It was unlikely to injure a turtle, but it seemed to cause him great discomfort. When the man removed the shell, the turtle turned and watched it sink to the bottom, then it began to swim slowly. It's amazing, but there's no other way to explain this behavior than a deliberate request for help. For some reason, the wild animal knew that this person was the only living thing that could help and remove the pesky shell. The turtle dared to call for help, and this is not an isolated case. When a group of divers find a dolphin at great depths, the divers are surrounded by darkness, which means they are actually far from the surface. Dolphins can hold their breath for about 20 minutes, but it's too risky for them to fly too far and in the air. So why did the dolphin dive so deep? Initially, the divers thought they would attract the animal's attention with the light of the camera and that the dolphin wanted to play. But imagine the surprised divers realizing that the dolphin was deliberately swimming in front of them. By showing them his face with a hook attached to it. He is asking for help. The dolphin patiently waited for the man to unhook and untie the rope. The process must have been painful, but the animal understood that it had to be patient because everyone was helping it. Fox is known for his cunning. They are extremely cautious and are a small predator, seeing humans as a threat. But in this unique case, the fox presented itself to humans, and it was completely powerless to find food. The animal put its head in a glass jar and got stuck in it. It is a life-threatening situation for the animal as it cannot eat or even breathe normally. So when animals hurt people, it is good for them. Of course, the man helped the animal and quickly removed the jar from its head. It only took him seconds when the fox was rescued. He walked briskly back but calmly into the woods to watch how he was purposefully heading towards the man. I'm sure the fox knew this was his only chance of survival. And that's all for people today. Share your thoughts on today's episode in the comments. Like the video and share it with your friends. Thanks for watching. See you again in the next times.